back, friends. All right, we're on the text of True Devotion, Outline of Treatise. So it's a small work, and it's one can say that of the story of a soul. That is a small work compared to other tomes. And saints often speak clearly to us with simplicity about profound topics. So, according to Montfort, Mary is the safest, easiest, shortest, and most perfect way of approaching Jesus. Montfort's process of total consecration has 7 elements and effects. So this is his meat. This is what to do. Knowledge of one's unworthiness. Sharing in Mary's faith, her fiat. The gift of pure love. Unlimited confidence in God and Mary. Yes, that confidence, trust, right? Faith. Communication of the Spirit of Mary. Transformation into the likeness of Jesus. That transformation Sarah talked about at the very beginning. And bringing more glory to Christ. His practice of consecration has both internal and external components. The internal components focus on surrendering oneself as a slave to Mary and to Jesus through her, and performing all actions with Mary, in Mary, through Mary, and for Mary. The suggested exterior practices include enrollment in Marian societies or joining Marian religious orders, making Marian privileges known and appreciated, and giving alms in honor of Mary. We have the thesis statement for this book. De Montfort proposes a devotion which essentially consists of one single act which, under various forms and conditions, we apply to our whole life, both interior and exterior. This devotion leads to a permanent disposition of living and acting habitually. So, living and acting habitually for the good is virtuous. In dependence on Mary, it embraces one's entire life, not just one's prayer times or specific religious acts. So it's a Marian way of living, a Marian point of view.
Yeah, it's interesting that this causes so much agony
It
among
does.
our separated brothers and sisters in the in the universal church, right? I mean, all of those who truly profess Christ as the God man and truly understand the Trinity as 3 persons in one divine substance, right? I mean, because obviously with other people who have lost those truths, it would not be striking that they've lost others as well. But it just seems an unusual thing that one would be set at adversity to the concept of a mother, that this could somehow cause, as though having a mother in any way, shape, or form in the natural order could impinge upon your relationship with your father, or if it could impinge upon your relationship with your siblings. Right? I mean, that just seems so outrageous, because in general, in the natural order, it is the mother who is the uniter of the child to the father and the child to the siblings, right? A lot of times you find it in many families that are able to hold it together, right, until the mother dies, right? And then the infighting starts, right? I mean, that seems to be more typical in nature than the contrary. I mean, and notwithstanding that, yes, sin is real, and not every woman is holy, and so you can have a bad relationship with a natural mother, but we believe that Mary is full of grace, right? And that we believe that that has a deep cosmic reality about her person, right? Because it's simply because man fell, right, with the fall, is not an excuse for why then man sins, right? Because if the fall naturally demands that man sin, personally, there would be no cause to curse him for doing what he must. So everyone, even after the fall, must be capable of living righteously,
Gotcha.
right? Otherwise, God could not condemn us, right? I mean, it would be an unjust God who would do that.
That's
It's
true.
we know that none of us have that strength. We know that we always fall short of that glory, that we do sin, but not it's one of those crazy things where as a result you may sin, but it doesn't mean that you must sin, right? One could sin, but it doesn't mean that one will sin, right? We've got that, we're in that place, and we know, everyone knows that the closer that you draw near to God, the smaller and the more painful even the most minute transgressions are to you, because you wish that you could live even better, right? The further away from God that you are, the grosser the sins that you commit. But we believe that Mary was full of grace, which means that and you just said before in the prior uh, little talk that we were having, that science has shown that physiologically, the moment that the infant Jesus became incarnate in the womb of Mary, there was not a day from that moment forward that she was away from him, right? So in terms of her proximity to Christ and her access to grace, it's it's without it's without comparison. Nobody, Saint Joseph is the nearest proximate, right? So it's an unusual thing to me that we have such animosity towards the mother.
That's correct. And at the
Right.
very beginning of the Reformation, you know, they still retain that love of Our Lady, and Luther would begin his lectures with the words of address of the angel. But then quickly thereafter, something, the wheels started falling off of the bus in regards to Our Lady. And maybe here is a moment where uh, we can now write that, because as our Lord came to us and at the first, and we're going to pick this up. This would be another idea that we expanded, but we'll end on this perhaps. This idea, the way our Lord came to us the first time, by Our Lady's permission, He will come to us again on the second time, and so for her to come for all of her children, uh, separated and divided through sin, as the first paragraph of the Catechism reminds us, or states. We know that pretty clearly. She has to start to become loved and loved and understood. All right, friends, let us pick up with the historical context of Louis de Montfort, the Sun King, in the next episode. Till then, Fide Srratio.